Have you ever avoided a conversation you knew you needed to have and told yourself, I'll deal with it later? But later never came, and somehow things just got worse. There's a kind of silence that doesn't bring peace. It builds tension. It creates distance. It slowly breaks relationships without a single word being said. Today, we're exploring the psychology of people who avoid difficult conversations, why they do it, what it's costing them, and how to finally break that pattern. Let's talk about Daniel. Daniel had been working at the same company for 3 years. Reliable, hardworking, always polite. But there was one problem. His manager kept giving him extra work that wasn't even his responsibility. At first, Daniel didn't say anything. He thought, maybe it's just temporary. Weeks passed, then months. The workload increased, the stress built up. He felt frustrated, exhausted, even resentful.
But every time he thought about speaking up, something stopped him. What if it creates tension? What if his manager gets annoyed? What if he looks difficult? So instead of having one uncomfortable conversation, Daniel stayed quiet. Until one day, he burned out. And here's the irony. The conversation he avoided to keep peace ended up destroying his peace completely. Daniel's story isn't rare. In fact, millions of people do this every day. Not because they don't care, but because something deeper is happening inside their mind. At the core, many people associate conflict with danger. Their brain says, if this turns into an argument, something bad will happen. So instead of risking discomfort, they choose silence. Some people think, if I say how I really feel, they might leave. So they suppress their thoughts to protect the relationship. But silence often creates distance anyway.
For many, this pattern starts early. They grew up in environments where speaking up was discouraged, emotions were ignored, or conflict led to punishment. So their brain learned it's safer to stay quiet. People pleasers struggle with this deeply. They don't want to upset anyone or be seen as difficult, so they sacrifice honesty for approval. They imagine worst-case scenarios. What if it turns into an argument? What if I say the wrong thing? What if everything changes? So instead of acting, they delay, and delay becomes avoidance. Avoiding difficult conversations feels easier in the moment, but over time it creates resentment, misunderstanding, emotional distance, and loss of self-respect. People can't fix what they don't know is broken.
Daniel eventually realized something important. Avoiding the conversation wasn't protecting him, it was hurting him. So one day, he decided to speak. Instead of thinking, this might ruin everything, think, this might fix everything. Most problems come from not speaking wrong. You don't need to confront everything at once. Start small. I felt uncomfortable when I'd prefer if confidence builds over time. Use calm, clear language. I feel instead of you always. This reduces defensiveness instantly. Difficult conversations will always feel uncomfortable. But growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from facing what you've been avoiding. Pause before reacting. Take a breath. Speak slowly. The goal is not to win, it's to communicate. You can't control how others react. They might agree, disagree, or get emotional. And that's okay. Your responsibility is to express yourself. Avoiding difficult conversations may protect you temporarily, but it disconnects you from your voice. Every time you stay silent, you teach yourself that your voice doesn't matter. But it does. If this resonated with you, you're not alone. Subscribe to Human Behavior Simplified for more insights into the psychology of everyday life. Because understanding people starts with understanding yourself.